I'm Jeremy, and this is your Geek Fix. So, I'm doing this video because I wanted to make sure that you at least had some contact from me, as it's been a little while, and I thought about doing a live stream but didn't have a lot of time to set it up, and at the same time I wanted to be able to tell you kind of what's going on and what to look forward to, and also to seek some of your help and be able to get some things rolling. So I've been working mostly on the third Pip-Boy video, and that's been quite a project. I started about 2 years ago thinking about it, and we've done progressively more and more over time. Over this past year, I decided to go ahead and finish off that third video and plan to release it last July. And because it kept growing and more people were getting involved, and also I had some new things that I decided to do with it, I kept putting it off. One of the big things about this video, and a lot of my videos actually, the goal that I have is really to try and make things that I know everyone out there could reasonably do, and trying to keep it within a price range that's more reasonable as well. So I'll even be telling you how to do everything that I do in this next video is really pretty reasonably priced. In fact, this right here is one of the things that I've been kind of teasing. It's actually, of this video, I thought it would be the Geiger counter would be the big part, or even the clock, because that was quite an undertaking. But instead, really, it's the holotape that I'm most excited about. This can actually charge with a cable, has a battery inside, and it has the ability to connect with up to 3 devices, and can transfer everything from on this holotape right now. It has APKs, it has videos, it has other games, all sorts of things, and I can access them all from my Pip-Boy. And no, it's not connecting into something, or the USB doesn't have to insert into it. It's doing it all through Wi-Fi, because it has its own ability for Wi-Fi. So pretty cool. Really proud of that. This is something that I couldn't find anywhere else out there, and you're gonna be able to make it yourself for about $30. So that's pretty great. And also, I did notice that more recently it's hard to get a hold of those holotapes for reasonable prices, just the plastic ones. I am also including a 3D model that I made that I initially planned to use, which is somewhere on this table actually. I have all sorts of things on my table right now. Here we go. So I did have this 3D model that I made that is paper thin, because I thought I wouldn't be able to fit everything initially, and ended out just being able to use the actual holotapes that I had. One thing that is cool about this video as well that's coming out is that typically I have a couple things that are problems that I'm trying to learn to overcome. One is that usually when I make a video, instead of just making the video, pre-planning it, really my initial plan is that I want to do this thing, right? And so I think a good example is actually the gun that I did over there, the Nuka-Cola gun. When I did that, if you ever watched that video, I was pretty excited about it. I filmed parts of it as I was putting it together, but then I have this tendency to get overly zealous and start building or doing the things without getting it on film, and then I had to go back. So like with that one, I actually bought another Nuka-Cola gun so I could take it apart, do the same process again, and get it on film. So that's one problem that I think I've already started to overcome. Another one, though, has to do also with planning. The last video, if you watched the last video that I released, it was the Ecto 1. And I had planned to release that before the movie was released. I thought that would be pretty good timing. I actually had the whole video pretty much done, except that I was determined to use the model to make my own or reenact some scenes from the actual movie. And so those scenes at the very beginning, which are pretty eye-catching, at the same time, I didn't come up with that idea until after it was a little bit too late. I was like down to the very last minutes and decided, yeah, I want to go do this. Threw my kids in the car. We drove around with the model hanging outside the window and filmed those initial scenes that you see and added some additional special effects. So yeah, that's a problem that I typically run into. On this third Pip-Boy video, though, the benefit was I started off with some ideas of things I wanted to do, some pretty epic big things. I mean, this video is nothing small. If you're expecting something that's close to my typical videos, this is big, and it looks really good. I have gone overboard for sure, and we even made animations, some actual cartoons. We did some filming and built some set materials, all sorts of big things that make this kind of epic. The thing about that is, this time I decided to start with that part. So we filmed all those things first, and then I started to build the modules and things like that. And that was pretty good. I also had some interviews that I had done early on. If you've ever watched the Chris Bernardo video, a lot of that's in it. But I also started to be able to get in contact with a lot of other people that have been involved in Fallout and the Pip-Boy, and was able to get a lot of stories that, when they interconnect, are very entertaining and interesting, because there's a lot of things I guarantee you didn't know about this model that are kind of surprising, and including how it wound up in the game and the stand wound up in the game. They weren't intended to be initially. So anyway, there's some fun things like that. And I thought I'd tell you too, the way that it's set up right now, I can actually tell you a breakdown of the time for each piece. So the first about 8 minutes is a kind of a vignette that I did at the beginning, and then I go through and show detail step by step how to take apart the BlackBerry and install it into, how I would do it now, not how I initially did it, and installing it into the Pip-Boy, how to do it in such a way that it fits, which a lot of people had concerns and questions about. I didn't give a lot of information initially the first time with the first video, because I was a little concerned about people going out and doing it, because it is dangerous to take apart a phone and do things like that. But I think the way that I show at this point in time how to do it is not only pretty safe, but also I'm not as concerned about people trying it. I think I still have a statement on there, don't try this at home, but you know, do it at your own caution. Then I explain how I also did something that I never really get to talk about too much. Oh, here it is. This knob that is on the side of the Geiger counter is actually something that people have brought up to me since that first video, saying, well, you know, it should control, that should be the way that you're able to scroll through your menus and to control the phone. And actually there was a very easy way, or at least it appeared to be able to do that, and I did it. So that's great and all, but I did pull it. And I show how I did it and why I pulled it, mostly because I wanted to be able to put the Geiger counter in, and the way that I made that system work, use some magnets and things that would affect my Geiger counter. So I did pull that out. I also show in detail how to put in, I think I have some down here, some dummy batteries. Oh, this is the set that I prefer, actually. The video does not show that. I actually, when I filmed the video originally, I had a different set and show it, but this is the one that I recommend in the film. And the reason for that is because some of the other ones have a different kind of wire that comes out that shorts out really easily. This set seems to work very, very well and has a good set of wires that come out of it, and then the USB also is pretty sturdy for being able to connect it into a power jack. So I like that. And I will say that I have a small battery that I hide inside the cuff. So if you have a really small lithium battery that's kind of flat that you can plug a USB into, it fits perfectly and lets you charge a lot of different items on it. And I can run that all day without any concerns about the batteries running down or about corrosion, things like that. So yeah, that's about the first 8 minutes. Actually, no, there's 2 more things. So then I also go through and show, before that, I show a couple of our viewers who have actually done the same things I did with my Pip-Boy, or done something better, I should say. S.O. Brugger is one of the first ones that I show how he went through and made his Pip-Boy in such a way that he can take the whole BlackBerry phone and just slide it right in. And it works beautifully and looks great. And then on the flip side, I also have massive DMG went through and is making, did what I did, but also learned how to rotate the screen and do some other things I show in there. So that's the first 8 minutes of the video. And then after that, it goes into that background story that I mentioned. That's about the next 10 minutes. And then it goes into the, well, before it goes into the Geiger counter, we have an animation that describes how Geiger counters work, and it looks a lot like a Fallout Geiger counter cartoon. And then I show how to make the clock work, actual tumbler rolling numbers inside. And then the best part is, like I said, how this works. And then there's a closing that is close to a movie that describes, well, what happens with Timmy and the professor, or whatever he is, the scientist. That's it. That's my video that is coming out. And pretty excited about that. But I've also been tweaking some things and showing it to those that are inside of it, just to make sure that they are cool with it before I go releasing it. This is big enough, I don't want any chance that it's going to get flagged or copyright stricken or anything like that. So that's why it's taking a little extra time. And then the other thing was, 3 weeks ago, I got norovirus, which is not fun. And so that made me not want to do anything, even though I was home during a majority of it. I didn't feel like, doing literally anything, so got nothing done during that time. And then the week after that, I went on a trip, which I can't tell you much about yet, but we'll be releasing a video, and that's pretty exciting too. And then the week after that, when we came back last week, I got COVID, which I hadn't had COVID up till this point. And again, didn't really feel like doing much, and so kind of this is the first week where I'm able to get some things going again, and I really initially hoped to release the video by now. I'm still kind of getting better. So that's what's been going on, and the video is coming, and it's coming very soon, and hope that you'll enjoy that. I also have been working on the making of that video, because it's going to be available on Patreon, because a lot of you had recommended to me doing a few things. One of them was Patreon, to create a Patreon account and to give a little bit extra to those that want to do that. I think it's a good opportunity to kind of release some of the stuff that generally I'm afraid to release. I think the hard thing about telling on YouTube, saying this is what I'm working on, or these are the things I think I'm going to do, is that then people are expecting it, and what if you can't? One of the things I learned when I was talking to Chris Bernardo was they have several actually really, really cool things that they even built to a level that they functioned, things that definitely people would be interested in, but because they couldn't produce it at a level that would be cost effective, where you could purchase it easily, and at the same time work at the level that they created it, they didn't release it. And there's other things, kind of like the Geiger counter, where they had a plan, they had a date and everything else, and everyone was expecting it, and then because of things that happened, they couldn't follow through. So I've kind of learned I don't really want to release some things that I'm planning on doing. I got to be careful about that, because I also don't want to do things that I'm not interested in doing, or that I kind of get burnt out on. There's some projects I've told about that I'm working on, but at the same time, when other projects come along that are kind of more exciting, I jump into those, and then delays some other things. So that's that. I also have, I gotta get onto my phone here just to remind myself of some of the things. I have been working on some other forms of media. I know I have a Facebook account you probably are aware of, but at the same time, I haven't really done much with it, and mostly only used it to promote videos. And I think instead I'm going to be doing a lot more side information, short snippets of things that show you how to do some different things, or short statement articles, things like that. So I think it's going to be more something to check out more over time. I also have let's see here. I have an Instagram account that some of you do follow. And I have been posting pictures in there of a lot of the projects as we've been going along. So for example, if you wanted to see that holotape and see it charging or doing some other things, also when I did the Ecto 1, I put in some things well before I actually released them on YouTube. So that's also an opportunity for you to see what I'm doing or what's going on. And I also have a not Twitch. I have some other accounts that I'm also going to be more active with pretty soon and live streaming with. What else can I tell you about? Going back to the Patreon stuff. I think some of the plans that I have with that is, aside from giving some more background to the videos and what we're doing, as well as updates, I'll do some additional live streams, and then I'm also going to do some consulting. Not really because I feel like I'm some kind of professional or anything like that, but I just think it would be fun to hear about your projects. And then if you're needing some additional eyes or ideas, I'm all for that, and I'm also all for hearing people's ideas. So at any rate, I want to make them more involved in the things I produce and do. And I will be doing some more live streams on here as well. But any rate, that's that piece. There's some other videos that I've been filming or that I put off that people have been asking me about, is tied to the fan home builds. I have 2 fan home builds. I've been doing the R2-D2. I've also been doing the Iron Man, and they're very fun, and I like doing them. They're easy videos to put out. At the same time, kind of like anything else, this is coming from overseas, and so a few months ago, suddenly the packages went from arriving back to back to not at all. And the reason for that was that they were literally sitting on a cargo ship and waiting to get here. And now because I don't pay for these, I don't get to know how true some of the things are. That I got messages from Fan Home that they supposedly sent out to everyone saying, if you've ordered and it says that the status is that it's already shipped, but it isn't coming to you, don't worry, we're not going to charge you for that shipment until it actually arrives. And so hopefully that was true. But they seem to be coming through again, and I've received 4 boxes that I'm pretty excited about. With the R2-D2 one, probably one of the things I was most looking forward to is it has a projector for the holograms of Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker, and it's in one of those boxes that I'm going to be opening and assembling. So I'm actually going to be able to put together the hologram parts. So I'm kind of excited about that. There's some more exciting things to be able to put together now. I know some of the parts, some of the boxes that come out, people are like, I don't get it. But and then same thing with Iron Man. I don't know how I'm not going to be done faster, because I've received enough now that about 1/4 of his body will be built. Maybe that is about on time, but so that's kind of exciting too. So those, when they come through, I do post them, and I'll leave them on for a week or so, and then I will put them inactively into the playlist. So then the way that you can access those is by going into the playlist or by watching the previous video, and then it'll lead you into the next one. So that's that piece. I also have some other projects that I kept on talking about that I'm actually working on, have been filming too, but haven't released yet. But there's something to look forward to. I'm trying to think, there's something else that's good. Oh, so here's where the big piece comes in for you. I really appreciated when I reached out to everyone and said, hey, let me know if you're building or doing the Pip-Boy 2000, if you're doing some of these upgrades, because we integrate it into our video, and we did that. But now, I guess what I'm looking for is ideas. I mean, things that you're interested in. Like, what do you want me to try and do or to build? Or what do you feel like would be a good fit for this channel? And also, is there something that you think would be kind of exciting to be able to participate in? So let me know that too. I am planning on doing some more traveling. I've already started doing that this last week, but I need to know where to go and what you think I should go and see. I will say there is also another couple of pieces of big news. One of them I can't tell you too much about because I don't want anyone to know too much about it yet, but it does have to do with basically the name of this channel. And so I'll come back and tell you more about that later on. But right now, I will tell you that there's a second channel that I'm going to be using to integrate things, and that allows me to show some things without having to worry about being copyright stricken. And that separate channel is also going to be coming online pretty quick with some content. So yeah, there's plenty of things that are coming along. There's plenty of stuff that's going on. I'm not dead. I felt like it, but at the same time, I appreciate you being out there. And I'm also using this video to try and test out something at the very end that I want to do at the end of the Pip-Boy video. So I'm going to try and see what I can do with my links at the end. So here's the end. And hopefully you like, subscribe, comment, like I said, below. Tell me some of the things that you're wanting to see or the things that you want to know. And stay tuned for more of your Geek Fix.